Hey guys, and welcome to the battle phase. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a Mermail Atlantean deck profile. So this deck lost a lot of power with the Spright Elf ban, so ever since then I have been working on a good way to build and especially a good way to combo with the Mermail Atlanteans without Spright Elf. And I think I found a really good build, and following that also a combo how to play this deck now that it's a bit weakened. So I think without further ado, let me show you what I have come up with. So as you have already seen, we are starting off with 3 copies of Neptubis, the Atlantean Prince, the absolute MVP, most important card in the deck. It's like Resonance Insect for insects. This is the card for Atlantean Mermails. This is the card that starts your plays by adding you a Atlantean Dragoon and sending one from deck to graveyard. It just gives you so much advantage and just allows you to play all of your combos. So obviously all of our combos in this deck are also going to start with this card. So in order for you to perform this deck's combo, you are going to need a way to Neptubis and a level 2 body on the field. So if you can get Neptubis and a level 2 body on the field, you are free to do full combo that I'm going to also show in the combo tutorial episode video that you can check on the channel. But because that's the case, we do play the obvious 3 copies of Deep Sea Diva. So what Deep Sea Diva does is when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon a sea serpent, level 3 or lower sea serpent from deck. So as you have already noticed, you're going to normal summon your Diva. That's going to special summon the Neptubis from deck, and you're going to have Neptubis and a level 2 body on the field ready for full combo. So it's pretty clear that Diva is your 1 card combo. So we play many ways to search Deep Sea Diva in this deck. One of such ways is with a spell card called Small World. We do play 3 copies of Small World. Diva is just so important because it is a 1 card combo that we play also 3 Small World to get it. Fun fact is that every monster in this deck can get you Deep Sea Diva with Small World through a bridge in the deck, and I will be talking about that through the combo tutorial. But Small World basically acts as another 3 copies of Deep Sea Diva. Next card in the deck is the 3 copies of Atlantean Heavy Infantry. Now this is a interesting selection because we play 3 copies. Basically what this does is that when it's normal summoned, you can normal summon a level 3 or lower, a level 4 or lower Sea Serpent in addition to your normal summon. So basically you normal summon this, and if you have Neptubis in hand, you can also then, with your additional normal summon the Neptubis, and you have a level 2 body and Neptubis, so we can go full combo. So it's basically more ways to get you to full combo. It's also an extender. Plus, if it's discarded to the graveyard to activate a Waters effect, it can pop a face-up monster your opponent controls, which comes up going second because we have a lot of discard outlets and also in our combo. Now on to the Mermail package. We do play a Mermail package in this deck. So we play the 3 copy of Mermail Abyss, the 2 copy of Mermail Abyss Megalo, and the 1 copy of Mermail Abyss Spike. So this is the Mermail portion of the deck. So I also have to mention, when I talked about Heavy Infantry, you can convert Heavy Infantry into Deep Sea Diva with Small World by revealing Mermail Abyss in your deck. So Abyss, we're going to find him to be a lot of the times bridge to Deep Sea Diva through Small World. But another very important thing is that Abyss discards a water to special summon himself, and Abyss Megalo discards 2 waters to special summon themselves. So we have 5 cards that discard waters to the graveyard, and that's going to be very important later on in the deck profile. And we also play the Abyss Spike, because the Abyss Spike can act as an additional normal summon that can combo. Not as strong as Diva and Neptubis, but it does hold a pretty solid combo on its own. So Teos is also a 1 card combo because we play Abyss Spike, but is not as good as Deep Sea Diva. But yeah, these are your discard outlets. You can also combo with them, but more importantly, they also represent bridges to Deep Sea Diva for Small World, and they also can all be changed into Deep Sea Diva. So Abyss, if you want to change this into Deep Sea Diva, you just reveal Abyss Spike in your deck, and you go into Diva. Abyss Megalo, if you want to change it into Diva using Small World, you can just reveal Abyss Spike again, and you have Deep Sea Diva. And if you want to change Abyss Spike into Deep Sea Diva, you just have to reveal Abyss Teas in your deck. So they can all go into Deep Sea Diva with Small World, but they also help other cards go into Deep Sea Diva with Small Worlds. Another crucial card in the deck, obviously 3 copies of Atlantean Dragoons. If this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a Water Monster's effect, you can just add a Sea Serpent to your hand. And it's just so good. We use it during the combo, and also a very interesting combination, for instance, Abyss Teas plus Atlantean Dragoons is also full combo, because you're gonna pitch Atlantean Dragoons to special summon the Teas. The Dragoons is gonna trigger its effect to add you a Sea Serpent. You can add the Deep Sea Diva, and since you haven't normal summoned yet, you can then normal summon the Deep Sea Diva, and that's a 1-card combo. So this combination of cards also leads to full combo, and Dragoons is also crucial in the combo itself. So very important card in the deck. Moving on, we play also a Nimble package. So in the Nimble package, we play 3 copies of Nimble Angler and 3 copies of Nimble Beaver. Now this is a little bit unorthodox because we do play the 3 copies of Angler. Usually people don't play 3 copies of Angler because when Angler is sent to the graveyard from hand or from deck, you can summon 2 Nimbles that are not Nimble Angler from deck to the field, right? It's important in the combo because you're going to use Spright Sprint to send the Angler and then summon the Nimble Beavers. But as you saw, we have Abyss Teos, Abyss Megalo, who also discard cards. And it's not once per turn, by the way. So you can Abyss Teos, discard this, get to Nimble Beavers, and combo off that way as well, right? So it does come up. And Nimble Beaver is also a good normal summon by himself, right? But it's needed for the Angler anyway. Again, you can, with Small World, you can change Angler into Diva by revealing in your deck the Abyss Teos, and you can also change Beaver into Deep Sea Diva using Small World by again revealing Abyss Teos. So Abyss Teos is really important in this deck as a bridge as well. That is the Nimble package. And then we also play the 1 copy of Spright Jet. This card is insane. We're going to be summoning off of Gigantic Spright, and it's going to be searching the trap card we play in this deck, the Spright Double Cross, to add interruption to our end board. But the card is really, really strong. And then the last, like a monster we don't want to draw, besides Jet, is Moon Glacia. Atlantean Dragoons is going to add Moon Glacia to your hand, and you're going to be able to trigger it. So besides the full combo and adding you the end board, you're also going to mill 2 cards out of your opponent's hand. So basically a hand rip for 2. This card is really strong as well. Since we didn't have enough consistency yet, we also play the 3 copies of Deep Sea Aria. This card is going to search our Deep Sea Diva if we banish a water monster from the graveyard. And that's again why we play the Mermail package. It's because it discards waters to the grave, right? So, for instance, you are going to have the Teas, but you need to banish a water to activate Aria. So what you're going to do is you're just going to discard a water to summon the Teos. This is your special summon. Then you have a water engrave to activate Aria. Aria is then going to add the Deep Sea Diva. And since you haven't normal summoned yet, you normal summon the Deep Sea Diva and you combo off. Right? So discards are also very important for Deep Sea Diva. For Deep Sea Aria to get you the Deep Sea Diva. That's just how important this is. So that is the Deep Sea Aria. And then we also play a small Icejade package. So 3 copies of Icejade Cradle and then the 1 copy of Icejade Tremora. I found this very useful in the deck. So Icejade Cradle just adds you a Icejade from deck to hand and you add the Tremora. This, besides being really good Ash bait, this really baits hand traps because people think you're playing Icejade. They're going to hand trap this because they think you're searching your main playmaker for Icejades. But in fact, you're searching Tremora, which isn't that crucial. What Tremora does is you can send it from hand to the graveyard in order to special summon a water from your hand. This does two things. It extends, but most importantly, it gets you a water into the grave for you to activate Deep Sea Aria if you have it in hand, right? So you can go Icejade Cradle, add Tremora, Tremora discard special water, but then you can activate the Aria because you have a water engraving. Banish it and then add. So that's why I also feel like this Icejade package is worth running. Extension plus ways to make Deep Sea Aria live and thus more ways to get to Deep Sea Diva. At this point, it is also important to notice that Icejade Tremora can also be converted into Deep Sea Diva using the Small World. This is quite important because we effectively run 4 copies of Tremora in the deck, 3 from the Icejade Cradle and 1 by the Tremora itself. And by using Mermail Abyss Spike as a bridge, you can easily access Deep Sea Diva through Small World with Tremora as well. Moving on, we have 1-for-1. Obviously, this is your ticket to special summon Neptibus from deck. 1-for-1 is the last card that searches Neptibus or Deep Sea Diva. So, with that combined, we now have 13 ways of our 40-card deck to get to Deep Sea Diva or Neptibus, which means 88% going first and 92% going second. So very consistent 1-card combo in this deck, as you've noticed. Following up with the traps, we just played the 1 Spright Double Cross and the 2 copies of Infinite Impermanence. 2 Infinite Impermanence just to round up our deck to 40, a little bit of hand traps, and Double Cross because it's searchable by Jet and it's such a strong interruption, right? So Spright Double Cross allows you to take control of an opponent's monster and place it into a zone that your Link 2 monster points to. And we can also end on IP Masquerena, activate Double Cross, steal a monster, and then link away with it, for instance, right? So really good interruption, and then, yeah, the 2 Impermanence. So that is the main deck, as I said, 40 cards. Now let's move on to the extra deck. One of the most important cards in the extra deck is going to be the Spright Sprint. It can send a level 2 monster from deck to graveyard. You are obviously going to be sending your Nimble Angler, which in turn is going to summon your 2 Nimble Beavers to the field, and then you will be able to combo off from there. So that's why we have him. The second really important card for the combos is going to be your Bujinki Akashima. It's a very important playmaker. It basically makes Bahamut Shark and then Toad by using 2 Atlantean Dragoons. Okay, you can see that in the combo, but these 2 are most important combo cards that we absolutely need, but none of them can then be used as link materials. Okay, so that is a bit weird. They get stuck on the field, but that's not true. They're both Link 2s, and we can just use both of them in order to summon gigantic sprites. So we're gonna go use Spright Sprint's effect, you're gonna go use Bujinki Akashima's powerful effect, and then they can be used as link material. They're stuck on the board. No, they're not, because we can overlay them and summon gigantic sprite and continue playing. Gigantic Spright then detaches, summons Jet, and we can have just we can just play further and unclog our board. Really strong, combo cards. Moving on, we have the end board pieces. Now, in our combo, we're gonna be finishing on 2 Link 2 monsters. So that's why we play a good selection of them. We obviously play the IP Masquerena for the Spright Double Cross interaction, as I told you. We also play Mermail Abyss Lancia, because we have water deck, and we then also play the Pit Knight early as another really good option to have a link to. So IP Masquerena, we all know what it does. Abyss Lancia has a good effect. You can discard a water to add a Mermail, and basically remember the last effect I told you about the heavy infantry. If it's discarded for a water monster's effect, you can pop a card on the field. Yeah, you're gonna end with Abyss Lancia on the field and have infantry in hand, so you have a pop from the hand during your opponent's turn, and it also has follow-up. And then Pit Knight early, you can send them like in this configuration. When a monster that is co-linked to him, basically he points to, I'm not co-linked, he points to activate its effect, he can also negate a monster effect on the field and also has some recursion. So that is really good. Abyss Lancia also has a second effect. If it's destroyed by your opponent's card, you can Foolish Burial a water and then special summon a water from the graveyard. So that in addition to its first effect that adds you a Mermail from deck to hand, it is very, very strong follow-up. And also Pit Knight Early's recursion from the graveyard stands as a very strong board that also carries a punch to the second turn you're gonna play. So that's our Link 2s. Then we have to play just a few IP Masquerade targets because we have the space. That's obviously gonna be Nightmare Unicorn. And then we also play the Appaloosa and the Underworld Goddess if you manage to make it, right? Just, you know, a lot of variety. That, but you can here play whatever you want, obviously. Then we also play another Link 2, that is the Abyss Keeper. It can just special summon a fish from your hand. But why we run this is because it allows us to combo off a single Abyss Teos. Let me just find him. Yeah, off a single Abyss Teos that is going to be able to add us the Abyss Spike, who is going to able to add us in terms another fish, that is going to be the Nimble Angler, that can then be special summoned with Abyss Hunter's effect. So basically Abyss Hunter is here just to make sure that more hands in our deck can combo. But he comes handy as well. Abyss Keeper is also very useful when you open Mermail Abyss Spike alongside with another normal summon like Deep Sea Diva or Neptibus. Because usually Mermail Abyss Spike is played as a brick that you have to play for Mermail Abyss Teos. But this is not the case here because you can use a normal summon on the Diva or Neptibus, do the combo, and during the combo make Abyss Keeper. And with his effect, you can then summon the Abyss Spike that you opened to the field, use his effect to search another monster, and even extend your combo like that. So instead of opening a brick with Abyss Spike, you can actually extend your combo using Abyss Keeper as well. That's why it's also very useful. Then we have another interesting combination, that is Marincess Coral Anomie and the Zelantis. This is a very interesting combination. It's mostly a going second combination. I mean, Coral Anomie is always useful, but it locks into water, so you have to be careful. But it's more or less the going second combination because as we know that Anomie locks you into water monsters, so you can only special summon water monsters till the end of the turn. And when you go for Zelantis, you can basically go with Coral Anomie and then link it up into Zelantis. What Zelantis does, it wipes the board, but then you, the player, summon back monsters to your opponent's side and to your side. And since you can only summon back water monsters because of Anomie, if your opponent doesn't have water monsters, Zelantis just wipes his board and you summon none of those monsters back. So it's basically a board wipe if your opponent does not play a water deck. So that's a really cool interaction going second. And then we also have, for the rest of our Xyz, we play the Bahamut Shark, totally awesome. You special summon the Bahamut Shark by using the effect of Bujinki Ahashima by overlaying 2 Atlantean Dragoons. Then you detach 1 Atlantean Dragoon, trigger its effect to search, and you also summon the Toad for an additional interruption. So actually a very, pretty much mandatory part of the extra deck. Last card is again a flex spot. I do play 1 copy of Abyss Gaios. There is an option that you get a Megalo and Teos on the board at the same time, and it would be very sad if you wouldn't have the option to go into Abyss Gaios at that point, but you know, it isn't mandatory. So your end board at the end of the combo is going to be any 2 Link 2s you want, double cross set, and totally awesome on the field, alongside with heavy infantry in hand. So that is it. If you want to see how to get to that end board, do check out the combo tutorial video on this channel. And thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to, of course, like and subscribe.